Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of glare right there. That's all right. All right, what's going on, everybody? As you come in, let me know how everything looks and how everything sounds. We're in a little bit of a different setup here. There we go, it's a little bit better. All right. Give a couple minutes, let people trickle in, and then we'll get started. I know it's a different time frame than usual for Fridays, but let me know how my audio sounds, my own voice, and then if you guys can hear the music. And then I'll give a little bit of background of where I'm at, what I'm doing, a little bit of preview for Sunday as well. So yeah, like I said, let me know how I sound and how the music sounds, and then we'll get started in just a couple minutes. All right. Clear all these off. Best of luck to whoever got codes today. I'm gonna move this on. We'll take a look and see how this looks here. Yeah, that should be all right. All right, 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes and we'll get started. Again, let me know how I sound and how the audio sounds, if you guys can hear the music. Of course, I say that as the music rotates. Anyone who's in chat, feel free to say hello, just so I know someone's there. And then we'll get into it. I'm just trying to avoid what happened last time where we were having some audio issues, so I'm trying to see if that stuff's still lingering or not. Hilario, how we doing, friend? Hope all is well. I'm in the temporary setup for the time being. Good, good. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. And again, feel free to chime in if my audio sounds weird or the music isn't loud enough. I'll try and make adjustments. So what's going on, everybody? WakoBako here. Today is CGC submission number 42 recap. If you guys remember, this one was one of the bulk submissions. So we have 25 cards to go through here today. I do want to show off some other stuff and then give you a little bit of a preview for Sunday before we get into this real quick. So very quickly, I'm currently staying with one of the main guys from /frag. I'm staying at his house currently. I'm kind of house sitting. Yeah, so that's where I'll be for the next few weeks. I'll be here. So this is, again, the temporary setup here. It's kind of nice because the lighting in here is really, really nice. I just don't know if there's any kind of echo or anything coming off. But yeah, super excited to be here. Got to hang out with them for a few days before they went on the trip. And then, obviously, I'll be here when they get back and get to hang out with them a little bit more. So yeah, this is where I'll be for a little bit. Again, got a little temporary setup, but we'll make do. All right, so you guys have seen this binder before. This is the binder I usually take to Collecticon or any kind of trade show or anything like that. The reason why I'm showing it off is I just refilled it, and I actually ran out of room, so this binder is completely filled. There's going to be a little bit of a glare, but okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, I just refilled this whole binder. I was hoping to go to Collecticon Orlando, but unfortunately, those were the days I was traveling to get here, so I missed out. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. If anyone did end up going, let me know, just so I get an idea of how everything went, what your pickups were. I was really hoping to go, but it's all right. I can always go next year. There's a couple other Collecticons coming up, over the course of the next month or two that I'm definitely going to try and go to, so that should be fun. But again, these are just some of the cards that I usually try and sell off or trade when I go to shows. But yeah, I refilled the binder up. There's a bit of a glare right here, but it's all right. We'll make do. But yeah, again, refilled it up. Just all kinds of different stuff here, from Vs and VMAXs all the way to the EXs. Got some of the art rares or character rares from the Glaring Gallery. So yeah, got a couple full arts from 151. Yeah, just a good mix of everything. Got some of the shinies from Paldean Fates. So also, if you see anything in here that you like or you're interested in for a trade or you want to buy, feel free to reach out. I'll probably post more pictures of this whole binder on Instagram at some point, just for the people that are interested that way. It's going to be shipping from a different location, obviously, but we'll make it work. Every time I see this Beware, it's one of the cooler art rares, but it's also super creepy. It's like it's the last thing you see before the thing eats you. So that was the whole English portion of the binder, and now we have some of the Japanese stuff in here. Again, just some of the EXs from this generation. Got some of the newer ones here with Moltres, Nidoking, and Salamence. Got some of the Ace specs, which are kind of nice. Got some full arts, right? And remember, on the Japanese side, the full arts are secret rares. So we got a hyper rare, some of the full arts from 151. But yeah, I think there's a good mix of stuff in here, right? And nothing crazy high end, unfortunately. But again, it's a good binder to bring to shows or any kind of collected con type event where again, if someone's looking for this stuff, I can trade or kind of sell stuff off. This card is actually Chinese variant, by the way. Yeah, try and get it in there. All right, cool. Got a bunch of Japanese shinies. Again, this was from Shiny Treasure EX, the equivalent of Baldean Fates. Pulled a whole bunch from that. That's when I opened up like 200 packs of it or something crazy. That was a really, really fun stream. I would love to get back into the swing of that, which with some of the things I have going on in my personal life, we should be able to get back to doing those kind of things. So, and again, I do have a big announcement, but I'm saving it. Just hold tight on that. I know I talked about it before, but I'm just waiting till it's 100% locked in. It's very, very exciting. It's something that happened very quickly, and it's something that I honestly never expected to happen. But I'm super excited about it, and I'm very excited to see how it goes once it gets started. But again, I do have a big announcement coming, so bear with me. I think you guys are going to be very excited as well. Japanese art rares, again, a lot of absolutely beautiful options here. I wish I had the Pidgeot. That would be kind of sick to go with that there. But yeah, pretty good selection of art rares here. And again, completely filled this whole binder. So if you see anything you're interested in, feel free to reach out. Either hit up the business email or reach out to me on Discord or Instagram, and I'll see what I can do for you. All right, so quick binder update there. All right, so a little bit of a preview for what's going down on Sunday. Now, I do have some stuff coming in tomorrow from the good friend over at Pokemon TCG Collector. So I do have some stuff coming in tomorrow, and we'll go through it for Sunday stream. But a little bit of a preview of what we're doing on Sunday. We are going through the Chinese Gem Pack Volume 2. Yes, they went full evolutions on this one. Even the packaging has that crazy holographic pattern on it. Yeah, and there's exclusive art rares, or I'm sorry, not art rares, secret rares with exclusive evolution artwork just from this set. You can see here the triple rares. They're very, very hard to pull with that 2.17%. But this is just a little bit of what we're going through on Sunday, so that should be fun. Hopefully we can pull some of the evolutions. I would hope so, especially because these are smaller sets. But again, that's just part of what we're going to go through on Sunday. Time might fluctuate for Sunday, but keep an eye out for that. I'll drop information in Discord and on Instagram as well. All right. But without further ado, it's not going to be too long of a stream today. Again, we're just doing the submission recap. Now, to be completely transparent with you guys, as you can see here, it's already opened. Now, the reason why this is already opened is when this came in, this was delivered to the address I'm at currently. This was right before Legend AF, also known as Alex, left for his trip. So we were up late one night, and we were just opening up some other random Pokemon packs. I was like, you know what, dude, let's just go through this. And yes, I probably should have started the stream and kind of recapped everything, but yeah, it was just one of the things. We were just having a good time. We were just chit-chatting, and yeah, I think it was really fun. So besides the people over at CGC, Legend AF is the only other person that's seen what's in here besides myself, obviously. So it's going to be a little bit different. Usually I save this as a surprise and it's a first interaction and me not knowing what's in here either. But again, it was just one of those things that, yeah, I don't know. We were having fun. I wanted to show off the submissions and go through them with him before he left. But so just keep that in mind. I do know what's in the box, but you guys don't. So we'll go from there. A very mixed bag. I can say that without spoiling anything. Some stuff I'm very, very excited about and some stuff I'm totally okay with. But I'll get your guys' opinion and reaction to it. I will say some of the cards in here will end up going on eBay. I don't know if I'll put all of them, but just bear with me on that. Again, I'm going to be doing a lot of uploading today. I was just waiting for this stream to go through. But yeah, keep an eye on the eBay store. I know it's very, very slim right now, but it's because I've sold so much of it off. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this here. Starting with very first card in here. You guys remember, again, the 25 card submission. Let me bring this in just a little bit there. Again, 25 card submission. One of the first times actually grading some Venusaur cards. So super excited about that. And it's a good range too. I got some modern cards and some vintage ones as well. And yes, I already put them in those little sleeves that I normally use. Again, I already went through this. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what you guys think about this one. 3, 2, 1. Got a nice gem mint 10 there on that Venusaur Secret Rare. This is from the Japanese 151. Now, I do have a Chinese version of this as well, which I'm going to try and get that grade at some point in time. I love the texture on that though, and then the different backdrop as well. But yeah, started off pretty strong with that Gem Mint 10. Let me see how I want to do this. Are you guys all right with this being here on screen, or should I move it off the screen? Let me know. I have plenty of room to work with. I just don't want to, you know what I mean? Like I can move it off like that if that makes it easier. So it doesn't flood the screen. I can move it all the way off the screen. Let me see how that would look. If I move it all the way over here, and then I can just put these here. What do you think? Does that look any better? Someone let me know. Box on screen or off screen? Let me know. Anybody? Any feedback at all? If not, it's all good. I'm fine with leaving it how it is now and keep it off screen. All right, we'll just go with that. So next, early on in this batch, and we got a pristine. You guys can tell obviously by that brownish gold label there. I do always like seeing the pristines, especially with the Japanese Pokemon cards. Because the border of the Japanese Pokemon cards kind of matches with the back of the label and obviously the front of the label. But yeah, super excited to see that. So I'll go ahead and flip it over in 3, 2, 1. Man, every time I see this, it just looks absolutely amazing. So we got the regular Venusaur EX. This is also from 151, another absolutely beautiful card. You know, when they first did the EXs for this, I wasn't the biggest fan of this initially, but seeing all the different hollow foil pattern and it just sparkles all over the entire card, it definitely won me over time. And then obviously getting them great and having that beautiful pristine label on it looks even better. But yeah, so 2 Venusaurs, both from 151, both with some absolutely amazing grades so far. But let's keep rolling. Next, go ahead and flip it over. Not a pristine, but I think you guys will still be impressed by this one here. Another absolutely beautiful modern Japanese Pokemon card. Let's flip it over and see what we got here. Nice. So another Gem Mint 10. And this one is from the special deck set. So if you guys remember when they put that out, it was a Venusaur deck, a Charizard deck, and a Blastoise deck all in one box. That's also where you got that Meowth promo and the... oh, what was that? There was another promo in there. I just can't think of it. Oh, the Wooper. The Wooper art rare. Both that and the Meowth exclusive to that box. But again, I love seeing this. And the lighting here, obviously it's a little bit better lighting than what I'm used to, but it really shows off all the different sparkles and holofoils, except for like when you put something right here, because obviously that's kind of right where the light is sitting. But hey, I'll take this all day long. I'm very appreciative of Alex let me set up here. So super excited about that. But so 3 Venusaurs, and we're batting 1,000 so far. Let's take a look and see what we have next. All right, so we have English, obviously here. This one you can tell right off the bat. When I was looking at these earlier, and I do have the high-res scans from CGC, not in the best condition. Obviously, you can see the bottom's already kind of chipped up a little bit from this card here. So obviously, there's some whitening on this, as much as I wish this would have been a 10. But centering on it looked pretty good. But let's flip it over and take a look. Oof. So this is the Venusaur EX, not from this era, but from 2016. This was one of the XY promos from when they did the Mythical Collection. So they did 4 different boxes. Well, they did 10 separate boxes for the Mythical Collection, but then they did these ones called the Red and Blue Collection. So you had a Blastoise box, a Charizard box, Venusaur, and Pikachu. But this is the promo from the Venusaur box. Now, again, it's a 6.5, right? It's not in the best condition, but it's still an absolutely beautiful card, right? You got Vileplume in the top here. You got Scyther squeaking through in the bottom. And all of these promos have that effect where it's the main Pokemon and then a couple other of the same type. So I thought that was pretty sick. It's still a beautiful promo. I may hold on to this one. I may try and put up on the shop just to see. But yeah, absolutely beautiful card. It is a 6.5, but it's all good. I'm not going to complain about it. Again, it's a beautiful card. So on to the next. Yeah, I'm so tempted to just lay them all face down and go through them that way. But I'm also nervous that I'm just going to burn through it. Do you guys want to see me do that? I haven't done that before. You want me to just take them all the box, lay them face down like that, and kind of go through it that way? Let me know. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Again, I could absolutely just lay out all 25 cards this way, and then we can just flip them over and go through them. Or do you guys like the traditional way I do it, where I just pull them out of the box and recap them that way? But let me know. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Slide this over just a little bit. What do you think, Hilario? All right, well, until someone else chimes in, I'm just going to keep going through it the normal way. Again, I think it would be kind of cool to lay them all out so we can at least see the back of the card and then flip through them. But again, I'm always trying to do something a little bit different, obviously based off your guys' feedback. But anyway, let's take a look. So I want to say this is another Venusaur, even though I did just look through these the other night. But let's take a look. Again, another English card, potentially English. This could be Chinese as well, because guys, remember that the Chinese Pokemon cards also use the English backs. It would be kind of sick if they had their own, right? So you have 3 different variants, but I think that's a little bit too much for the Pokemon company to juggle. But let's flip it over and take a look. Ooh, yes. So this absolute beauty. This one shocked me, to be completely honest. And I know it's a non-holo. This is the Dark Venusaur. And no, this wasn't from Team Rocket, unfortunately. This came from the Best of Game promos. So there's a couple different variants of this, right? Obviously, there's a Japanese version, but the Japanese version was in the web series, which that's another set I'm working on. But there is one that says winner right here. It's stamped in there, which would be awesome. Obviously, it's got the Best of stamp down there. But yeah, this one shocked me for sure. Again, it's just one of those cards that I picked up along the way, and it's been sitting in a box in a card saver. And I thought, hey, you know what? I'll try and get it graded and see how it turns out. But yeah, gladly take a 9 on this one. Just a little bit of imperfections, right? Probably some of the whitening on those bottoms and on the corners. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, I thought the centering looked great on these. And one thing I mentioned and I would love to see CGC open this back up, is I know they used to do subgrades, and if you've been around long enough with CGC, they used to have the old blue labels and the green labels. They used to do subgrades back then. So even on a card like this, right, you could pay a little bit more, but you would have subgrades and it would list all of them. I think with the new label design, I think they could still do subgrades, especially if they put it right back here. So yes, it wouldn't be displayed on the front because I think it would just eat up too much room with how this is laid out. But if they put it on the back, they have all this space here where they could put all 4 of the subgrades there. And the reason why I even mentioned that is for cards like that, you can see why it didn't get a 10. But other situations like this, right, where, you know, you got a 10 on this one, which is awesome, but what stops it from getting a pristine? So to the best of my knowledge, the 4 main grading criteria they go off of, right? So one of those 4 had to have been a 9.5. Obviously, if it was all 10s, it would have been a pristine. But again, without subgrades, you can't really know. But I think that'd be kind of neat if they brought back subgrades that way. So again, you can at least see it for yourself and know that, hey, this is the reason why. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind paying a little bit of a premium to have subgrades on certain cards, especially like this one, right? It'd be nice to know what it got the 9 from, right? Because I truly feel like centering on this was solid. Obviously, it's a bit tougher with this very, very wide border here and then traditional border there. But yeah, I think that'd be neat to see if CGC could bring back subgrades. But either way, yeah, let's just keep rolling. All right, on to the next. Ooh, so this one, I can't really show either side of this. So let me do it this way. And you're going to tell me, hey, that's really dumb. Why are you doing it this way? But if I show you either side, it immediately gives away what the card is. So, you know, I'll just show you the back anyway. So you guys see this here. This is obviously a Topps card. This is Venusaur, right? Another Venusaur there. You got that Who's That Pokemon there. That was actually pretty cool, especially with the Pokemon that's there. I think it's very obvious what Pokemon that is. Maybe it is to me, but Topps, another really cool set that, again, the card company Topps had a contract with Nintendo at that point in time. And they did a small print run, a couple different series. I think they did, what, 3 or 4 series of Topps cards before that ended. But also you have to think, right? Bandai did cards for Pokemon. Topps Sun did cards for Pokemon. So a lot of different other companies did Pokemon cards at one point in time. But let's flip it over and check the grade. All right, so I know it's not the strongest grade. But the thing that's tough with these cards here, right? Because more like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, there are actual pointed corners. So that's always tough as well. Let me see if I can get it in here. You kind of see it a little bit, right? So it's not a hollow texture on it. I know there's many other variants of these that have a hollow foil pattern. But even in this top corner, the regular pattern, you kind of see it right there. The regular pattern on this is worn off. So then the regular card stock is underneath that. I thought it was still an absolutely beautiful card. And again, it's not the highest or craziest grade of all time, but you never know. There might be someone out there looking for this and they don't care what the grade is, or they'll buy it and crack it. But either way, it's still an absolutely beautiful card. It was worth trying my luck, especially with, you know, it wasn't that expensive to get it graded. So, all right, I think I can squeeze one more up top over here. Let me slide these over just a little bit. All right, so on to the next. So this one was exciting. We got another pristine. So this is the second one from the batch. When I saw this one, I knew what the other cards behind it were. And I was very excited to see how they got graded. But again, another beautiful pristine Japanese card matches with the label. So take a look at this. Absolutely beautiful. We have the Venusaur VMAX. I remember when this first came out. This was after the Charizard VMAX was revealed. They did Venusaur and Blastoise as well. But yeah, absolutely beautiful, pristine Venusaur VMAX. Again, absolutely beautiful card there. I love all the different texture and just how much is going on this card. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful card there. Can it squeeze on top? No. I'm just going to leave this here like this. Probably do 2 rows and then I'll reset. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful card there, which leads me to the next two, which again, very, very excited to see, especially with another pristine right behind it. This one, I won't say it shocked me, but I was super excited to see this, especially after seeing the Venusaur in a pristine. Having two pristines back to back is always nice, especially when it's this card here, the absolutely beautiful Charizard VMAX. Now, if you guys remember, recently I had another Charizard VMAX. It was the old CGC Blue Label pristines, but unfortunately I had to sell it off. So it was awesome to see this come back through. It's got the updated label. It's a different Charizard VMAX, obviously, but yeah, the texture on this thing is just absolutely insane. The lighting here is really helping showing this off. But yeah, two pristine VMAXs in a row. Sorry about the glare right there. So you guys are probably wondering, okay, so he's got the Venusaur and he's got the Charizard. I'm pretty sure you guys can assume what I graded next. So unfortunately, we did not get the pristine on this one. It would have been sick to go 3 for 3 if you guys know where I'm going with this here. But hey, I was still excited to see this grade, so let's flip it over and take a look. We got the Blastoise VMAX here. So this is the second time grading this card, and I've gotten Gem Mint 10s on both of them. I really, really, really want to get a pristine. It would have been cool to have all three of them. Man, the texture on this thing is just absolutely nuts. But yeah, we got the Gem Mint 10 on this one again. This came from the starter deck, just like the Venusaur. Well, I mean, I guess they all came from their own starter decks, right? But yeah, it was really, really cool, especially when the Charizard one came out. And I do have all three of these starter decks sealed. I did show off the Blastoise one, which is one of my most viewed videos on the channel. If you guys check that out, I think you'll enjoy it. I was super excited because, you know, forever it's Charizard this, Charizard that. And then we finally got some love for Venusaur and, of course, my man Blastoise. But yeah, some absolutely beautiful VMAXs. It would have been nice to hit the pristine, but again, if we had subgrades, I'd be able to see why we didn't get it. But I just know that one of the 4 criteria got that 9.5 and it didn't get the 10. But again, absolutely beautiful card there. Super excited to see that. All right, on to the next. All right, so, and of course, right after that, we hit another pristine. Now, if I remember correctly, this was a big card. And this was one that I had previously. I sold off because, you know, it is what it is. To see this come back in a updated pristine, maybe it gives a little bit of a hint of what it is. It was so sick. I was super excited to see this. I know Alex was freaking out a little bit. So when I was doing this, similar setup, right? I set up the box how I have it now, so it's long ways. And Alex was sitting over here. So he got to see all of them as I was pulling them out of the box before I got to see it. And him trying to hold back his excitement for some of these was definitely tough. But without further ado, another absolutely beautiful pristine. Take a look at this. Man, it's finally back. The Reds Pikachu, the 2018 promo from Sun and Moon. I've had this card multiple times. When I initially got this card, I had 2 of this and then 2 of the Pikachu character rare from Dream League. Graded both sets, had 2, I want to say I got pristines on both and then Gem Mint 10s. But anyway, the pristines I had, I sold off because, again, I'm dumb. But yeah, it's nice to have this back in a pristine. It's one of the sickest promo cards, I want to say, in modern Pokemon promos, if you will. It's such an absolutely beautiful card, and all the sparkles and everything just... Yeah, this card pops. So super excited to see this back in the collection. This is not up for sale by any means. I'm going to put this back in the collection. So I did bring some of my other random collection stuff just because I wanted to show the kids. But so this was the other card, again, coming from the collection. So this is the other Pikachu. Again, there's red or even ash, if you will, with Pikachu there. So it's awesome to see both of those in pristine 10 and back in the personal collection. Just thought I'd show that off real quick. But yeah, I had both of them at one time, and especially I had them both in the old CGC pristines, which I wish I would still have now, but it's all good. Got both of these. They're absolutely beautiful, so no complaints from me. But yeah, another awesome piece for the personal collection. All right, this next one. Another Japanese card. This one I've seen all over the place. in both English and Japanese. Obviously, I have the Japanese variant. I was super excited to see how this graded. And it's one I still haven't decided if I'm going to sell it off or hold on to it or not. But you guys can take a look and let me know what you think. All right, so we got the Armored Mewtwo. This one was from the updated Mewtwo Strikes Back movie that came out in 2019. It's got the stamp down here at the bottom. An absolutely beautiful card. And, you know, I need to look at the high-res scans again because I looked at them after the fact, and I still can't figure out why this got the 7.5. Now, usually once you get underneath that, like once you start dropping from 9s, right, it's usually a centering issue, especially once you're at 8s. You know, it's centering, a lot of whitening on the card, or some kind of heavy scratches or creases. But yeah, I couldn't figure out why this got a 7.5. And I'm not one to get stuff regraded, especially if I'm going to keep it in the personal collection. I'll just hold on to it. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful card. I thought the centering on the front looked stunning. I didn't see any major scratches or anything like that. But again, I'll have to look at the high-res scans. And the good thing about those is you can really, really zoom in on them. So you can see every flaw possible. But yeah, again, I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep this in the personal collection. I can always buy another one or try and sell it off. I'll have to look at the pricing, which that's one thing I didn't look at since I got these in. But all right, on to the next. And we'll show off this last card. I'll clear the table, and then we'll go through the next part of this submission. I don't remember what followed up behind this. I know there are some vintage cards in this submission. You guys can see the YouTube short and, you know, kind of keep on track with where we're at. But let's take a look and see what we got here. Ooh, okay. So the good old Pichu Bros. So I know I did 2 of these. We got the 8, so near mint to mint. Absolutely beautiful card there. This is a non-holo. This came from the Pop series. If you guys don't remember Pop series, what they do, Pops, I want to say they did 1 through 9. So this was an event that they held back in like 2006. I want to say it ran from maybe 2006 to 2007, or maybe it was 2005 to 2006. But either way, there was these packs you would get. And again, there's a little set stamp on the bottom. But you would get some packs at the event, kind of like what they did with one of the more recent ones where they flood them with evolutions and stuff like that. But there was no holos in these packs. And the 2 rarest cards you can get from any of the Pops, which I want to say was Pop Series 5, was the Umbreon and the Espeon. The reason why it was tough to find them is because they didn't have holos, so it's not like you could weigh the packs or use some kind of like super crazy high beam light. They did it that way, so you just had to kind of search. But yeah, really, really cool card. I picked these up from Mewtwo Bro. So super excited to see the grade on that. If he pops in at some point today, well, here you go. If not, I'll send you some screenshots later. But yeah, I got 2 of these graded, so let me just go ahead and show off the other one. The other one didn't do as well. As you can see here, we got the 7. But still, both absolutely beautiful cards there. Again, I want to look at the high-res scans, especially because these are non-holo. It's usually, I feel like these cards are easier to grade in that regard because you don't have to deal with much in terms of, you know, scratches in the holo or anything like that. These can still have print line or issues, right? So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I'll have to check out the scans there and see what we had there. But again, a 7 and 8, I'll gladly take it. I'll probably hold on to one and sell off the other. But yeah, pretty good first part of this submission. What do you guys think is your favorite one so far? But yeah, all these ones that aren't 10s, obviously, I'm going to look at the high-res scans. And we'll take another look and see what the deficiencies were there. All right, let me put these back here. And again, I'm going to go through these at some point today. I already pulled the images because, again, I've already been aware of what these cards were. So I did pull the images. So again, keep an eye out on the eBay shop. I'll be posting some of these. These may or may not be one of my last submissions to go up on the eBay shop. I'll have more information on that at a later point in time. Definitely going to hold on to this one, though. Absolute beauty. I can't wait to get the Japanese version of this. Again, you guys know I'm actually working on completing the web series. There is a first edition and unlimited print, but I'm just going to take what I can get. But in web series, that Dark Venusaur is, I think, yeah, it is a holo for that one. So that should be super exciting. All right. On to the next. Another Japanese card here. No pristine here, but let's take a look and see what we got on this one. Ooh, so this one was rough as well. We have the absolutely beautiful Slow King. This is from 2005. This is from the Golden Sky Silver Ocean set. Yeah, 5.5 on this one. Again, I knew centering wasn't great on this. I knew there was some kind of like peel up on the corner here, but yeah. Again, I know it wasn't the greatest condition, but it was a card that, you know, I really, really liked. But again, the high-res scans really help you better assess these. But yeah, absolutely beautiful card. I love the artwork on this one. The holo foil just works really, really well. Again, not the craziest grade, not the highest grade, but I haven't decided if I'm going to hold on to it or try and sell it off or not. But yeah, so there we go. Starting off this next part with the 5.5 Slow King. On to the next. Again, I think from here we got some more vintage stuff. If I remember correctly, the last 4 or 5 cards are very interesting cards. And it was cards that, and again, if I keep stuff for the personal collection, guys, I'm not overly concerned with the grade. If I try and sell it off, obviously that's stuff that I would like to see grade a little bit better. But let's flip this over and keep rolling. This one here. Obviously, with all the Team Rocket hype going on, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and grade this. And yes, this isn't the original Here Comes Team Rocket, but this is the one from 2021 from Celebrations. Now, the cool thing about these, when they did all these classic collection cards, and you can see it really well here, there is a texture on the card, which is absolutely insane. So you have the holo foil, which the one thing I was complained about this card was it's so tough to do holo on this because like just very little bit behind Jessie and her earring. A little slice right there by Meowth's whisker, and then you have this here, but that's it. So most people, when they pulled this card back in the original Team Rocket sets, especially in English, you didn't even know it was the holo or not unless you looked at the set number on the bottom. But absolutely beautiful card. We got in that 9.5, so I was super excited to see that. Again, I know it's not the most glamorous or most expensive card, but hey, I'm a fan of Team Rocket, so super excited to see that there. All right. On to the next. Let's take a look and see what we got on this one. All right, nice. So another card. This one's definitely staying in the personal collection here. Multiple reasons. I'll get to that in a second. But we have the Secret Mission card. And you're probably like, oh, cool, it's a trainer. This is a first edition trainer from Gym Heroes. Again, all the way from the year 2000. So multiple reasons why this is a favorite of mine. You should be able to make the assumption right off the bat. You got Lieutenant Surge, which is the best, and I'm saying it right now, the best gym leader that's ever been out. Which I know it doesn't get much love, and there's not really any modern Lieutenant Surge cards, even though there's been so many other Kanto League gym leaders that have gotten their time in the spotlight. But it'd be sick to see a full art version of Lieutenant Surge. The other reason, right, he's hanging out with Raichu, right? They're on some kind of secret mission. So I love this. It would be so cool to see more cards like this where it's just Lieutenant Surge and his Raichu. But yeah, not bad. Got an 8 on that, and a card that's 25 years old. First edition on top of that. And this card's just been sitting in a sleeve for the longest time in my personal collection. But I was like, you know what, let me try and get it graded and see how we did on that one. Obviously, you can see the back's got a little bit of scuff on it. There's some whitening there. But hey, I'll gladly take that. Definitely going with the personal collection there. I do want to try and get every Lieutenant Surge card graded, whether it directly says Lieutenant Surge on it or just he's in the artwork. And I'll put it with the Raichu collection, which would be really, really sick. Especially to have a full Raichu army and then all of the Lieutenant Surge cards. All right, on to the next. Got another Japanese card here. Let's flip it over. All right, so speaking of Lieutenant Surge, and to be honest, I wasn't really surprised with this one here, but we got the absolutely beautiful Lieutenant Surge. And again, this was all the way back from 1998. So this is when they did the Japanese theme decks for all the gym sets, right? So you had Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge. This is from what they called in the Japanese side Gym Booster 1, the Leader Stadium, which is Gym Heroes. And then they did Challenge into the Darkness, which was Gym Challenge. But they did the theme decks, and these theme decks had holographic versions of the trainers, which again, Japanese vintage holo is probably some of the best holo out there. A little bit of a swirl right there by that back emblem. But again, I knew this card wasn't going to grade anything crazy. There's all kinds of dents, dings, creases. You see on the bottom, especially with this lighting, you can see how bad it is there. You got the big crease right there, a little bit of a dent. The bottom corner is all jacked up. Yeah, you see the crease there even more on the front. But again, this is for personal collection, and I was just doing what I could to kind of fill out this order. Really awesome top crease there. But yeah, Lieutenant Surge is my favorite, and I thought that'd be a cool card for the collection. So, you know, at some point I'll upgrade it and get a higher grade on it. But again, from a card that I was sitting on for forever, probably since 1998, you know, I thought it was awesome to get it graded. So, all right, we move on. Another Japanese card here, non-pristine, unfortunately, but still an absolutely beautiful card. So continuing on with the Gym Heroes set, also known as Leader Stadium in the Japanese version, we got Misty's Tentacruel, sorry. Obviously, we saw some updated Misty's cards in the Journey Together set or the Battle Partner set for Japanese, but absolutely beautiful card here. If I remember correctly, I got this out of a mystery pack. I either got it that way or I bought this card loose and then got it graded. But yeah, an 8.5 for a card that's, you know, well over 25 years old. I'm not going to complain about that. Absolutely beautiful for sure. And then again, just the way that these cards were set up, right? Like just something about Japanese vintage holos were just absolutely stunning. So no complaints there. You're going to see that one on the eBay store for sure. All right, next. So this one was another shocker. And I say that because this one I remember very precisely. I got this card from a Head Charizard mystery pack, right? When he used to do the mystery bundles, which I think he's getting back into doing. So I'm super excited to see those. Shout out to Head Charizard. I doubt you're watching this, but if someone wants to share the link and show them. This card, if it's the card I'm thinking of, I got this from a mystery pack, which was insane. Because of how old this card is and the set that this card came from. And then to get it graded and to see the grade it came back as, I was super shocked. But hopefully you are shocked as well. Yep, there we go. Look at this. Absolutely insane. We got the base set Nidoking. So 1996 Nidoking. Yes, it has the green back on it. If you guys remember, there was a purple back right there, and they did a psychic type. That was in Evolutions. But yeah, card from 1996. Yeah, absolutely stunning. So this card is almost 30 years old, which is nuts. But it got a 9. And I got this from a mystery. Yeah, my goodness, I can't talk. I got this from a mystery pack from Head Charizard. It looks like there's almost a swirl like right towards the tip of his tail there. But again, absolutely beautiful. This one shocked me. This one and the Red's Pikachu really, really shocked me. And the Venusaur, the Dark Venusaur. Looks like there's a little bit of a swirl there. But again, to pull this card from a mystery pack, put it in a sleeve, sitting in one of my little binders or my little boxes for forever. Decide, you know what, hey, let's get it graded. So super excited about that. This one's definitely going up on the eBay shop, so keep an eye out for that. But still absolutely beautiful. And again, it's got the OG back on it, so you can kind of have a better idea of centering on these cards here with that red border, but still absolutely beautiful. I'm not the biggest Nidoking fan, but again, super excited to see this card and how it turned out. All right, let me slide these back over, a little more centered there. Let me take a look and see how everything's looking over here. Okay, not bad, that's looking good. All right, so on to the next. All right, let's see if I can remember what came next, which I don't remember. Oh, actually I do, because these next 5, okay. This one was exciting too. This one was super awesome. Especially once, when I was showing this off to Alex, he was ecstatic because he didn't even know this was a thing. Especially from where it came from, which was awesome to see his expression on this. And it's something that I already had graded, but I had another one. So let's take a look. The absolutely beautiful. And you see this swirl right away. We got the Hungry Snorlax. Now, again, you see it right there, right? It's split. So this is from 1997. This is from the N64 promo. And this is also from the CD promo. Now, the reason why they did that split. Initially, this showed up in the 1997 N64 promo. That's why it's got the date on there. This also reappeared. If you guys remember the 1998 CD collection or the CD promo collection, that came with the CD with all the different music on it, and it came with the 10 or 11 different cards. So this card was featured in that as well. But yeah, Hungry Snorlax, absolutely beautiful. I do have the old blue label CGC, and I want to say mine, other one's in a 9, but still an 8.5 is absolutely insane for a card that's that old. Again, got the big old swirl right off to his left. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful card for sure. Super excited about that one. Definitely putting that one up on the shop. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to be sticking around too long, especially how beautiful it is in that giant swirl there. Whether you're a Snorlax fan or you're working on that CD promo set, I think that's a good get for sure. All right, the last 5. Now, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to show you all at one point in time. Now, there's a significance with these last 5, and the reason why I'm doing this, oh man, there's a big glare there. Apologize about that. But the reason why I'm turning all these face down and pulling them out, these are the last 5 cards, by the way. So all 5 of these were, at one point in time, banned artworks from Japan. Obviously, you can tell they're all Japanese backs. They're all vintage. They're all banned artworks. So in one form or fashion, they were banned for a reason. And when they came to the English iteration, the artwork had to be slightly redone or completely revamped. And I'll go through that as we're going along here. Some are very obvious. Others seem like it's kind of stupid to why they wanted to redo it. But there's actually a good amount of banned artworks that got initially printed in Japan and then came over to English, and there was a redesign. All right, starting with the first one. You guys see this one, right? Good old Grimer from Rocket Gang. Now, looking at the card about here, you're probably like, okay, yeah, it's Grimer. Seen that artwork before, seeing it English, right? Probably don't catch it right off the bat, but as you see here, and it's super hard to tell, especially because I'm trying to zoom in a little bit, but so the reason why this is banned, or was banned, I'm assuming, so it's banned because of the placement of the 2 black dots in Grimer's eyes. Yeah, I'll let you make your own assumptions on what Grimer's looking at. But yeah, so all they did for the English artwork is they pretty much just changed those 2 black dots and moved them towards the actual viewer, or like the front of the card, if you will. But yeah, so one of the banned cards there. And again, not the highest grade, not the craziest grade, but these ones will probably stay in the personal collection. I do want to collect all the banned cards. There's plenty of them. But on to the next. So another one, and a absolutely terrible grade on this one. But yeah, this one was kind of beat. You see the big crease there. Just all kinds of dings, dents. The crease is a lot more prevalent right there. You see it right there. But again, so good old Moo Moo Milk. You guys could probably take a second look at the artwork and figure out why that was banned artwork for Japan. They completely redid this artwork. It wasn't just a slight revamp like they did. Oh yeah, big damage right there on the side there. It's almost it's not even just a slight tear. It's definitely a tear, but I don't think it's all the way through. But this one here, they completely redid the artwork for the English version of this card. It was pretty much just a bunch of milk, like glass milk containers on the English one compared to this one. So yeah, very interesting there. And again, not the greatest grade, but again, it's for me, so I'm not overly worried about it. Next, this one surprised me. This one surprised me for sure. We got the Mint 9, so huge grade for this one. Again, this is a card that's 25 years old. This is the card flip game. Now, this came out in the Gold, Silver, and New World set. Obviously, a little bit of controversy. Not as big of a deal here in the U.S. and the Western part of the world. But obviously, this is a big deal in Japan and a lot of Asian culture. So the issue with this card is that it represents gambling, right? And again, there's plenty of issues in gambling all over the world. And, you know, there's a lot of issues with gambling no matter where you're at. But, yeah, so this was a banned artwork. I don't remember what the English iteration was or how they redid this, or even if they did. But, yeah, This card here, another banned artwork. I was super excited to see it hit that 9 though. So very, very great condition there. Some would even call it mint. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. Another card that, you know, with this here, I'm perfectly fine with that. I probably won't get a 10. But if I can get all 9s in the banned cards, I'd be super excited about that. All right, second to last. Another awesome banned artwork card here. Not the highest grade, but yeah, so this is Sabrina's Gaze. Now, this is one of 2 different Sabrina's cards that got banned artwork and had to be redesigned. The other one was Sabrina's Gengar. If you guys remember that one, especially on the Japanese side, the reason why they redid the artwork for that is because Gengar is standing in a graveyard. And again, a lot of Asian culture, they're not the biggest fans of graveyards, ghouls, goblins, that kind of thing. Skeletons specifically. So they had to redo that artwork. This one, which I think is a little more subtle, and I think it's kind of dumb they had to redo this. But the issue with this card was, hey, what's going on, Nugget? How are you? They redid the artwork on this one because supposedly Sabrina's giving the viewer the middle finger here, even though she's holding a Master Ball. Yeah, so they redid this artwork. Yeah, absolutely dumb for sure. They redid this artwork for the English set. I don't remember what they changed it to, but yeah, they changed the artwork. Again, some of them were subtle, some of them were blatantly obvious, like, oh, hey, we need to fix this. Now, talking about the ones that were blatantly obvious. Now, in English culture, I don't think this card would have been banned if this came right to English this way. But this was another one they completely changed the artwork for. This is the last card from this 25 card submission. And a card I've graded a few times. I'm still seeking a higher grade, but let's take a look. So, the absolutely beautiful Misty's Tears. Now, again, a lot of controversy with this one, at least on the eastern part of the world. But yeah, so again, this card originally showed up in the Gym Booster 1 or the Leader Stadium, also known as Gym Heroes. So the issue why, the reason why this card was an issue and the artwork was redesigned is, according to experts on that side of the world, they said that this artwork was unacceptable because it appeared that Misty was naked in this artwork. So when it came to the English version of this card, they completely redesigned it. So Misty got changed. They got rid of Staryu, which is tragic. But they replaced it with Squirtle, literally wiping a tear off of Misty's cheek. So again, I think this card was fine. The people made, a huge deal out of this artwork. I don't think it's that bad. Sailor Moon vibes for sure. But yeah, so the English version of this card was completely changed. Again, it's like a sad Squirtle wiping a tear off of a sad Misty. But yeah, that was another one that they completely redid. So again, overall, I think the submission went really well. Obviously, the vintage stuff, right? I had a rough idea that, some weren't going to be huge hits. But to see cards like these and how well they graded, especially this one here, that Nidoking from Japanese base set, absolutely insane. The other thing that's insane about it is if this was a no rarity Nidoking, which means that there's no rarity symbol there, this card would be triple, quadruple the value because it was a printing error, and especially grading a 9 would be sick. But again, overall, I think we did really well. I'm going to quickly pull out some of the other cards that we saw in case anyone's coming in late. We got the Pichu Bros there. Absolutely beautiful cards there. Again, Armored Mewtwo, Japanese promo. Another absolutely beautiful. Again, one of my favorite Japanese promos of all time currently. Red's Pikachu, so glad to have it in that pristine and have it back in the collection. We got to the Blastoise VMAX, which, man, if this thing would have been a pristine, that would have been sick. Especially after getting the Venusaur and Charizard in pristines. But of course, they wouldn't let me just get the perfect 3, right? And one of them had to have a flaw somewhere along the line. But still all absolutely beautiful cards there. Move these off to the side real quick. Show off the remainder. But yeah, again, overall pretty solid submission. You guys will see most of these cards up on eBay sometime throughout the weekend, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, super excited about that one as well. And then last but definitely not least, but if you are interested in this kind of content, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. But yeah, that was CGC submission recap number 42. I still have a bunch of submissions I'm waiting to get back. I have one more customer submission. So if you guys remember, New Kid sent me a bunch of his stuff to grade. And one part of his submission is done. One part of his order is done. So that means one submission's done. His other submission is almost done. So once that's done, obviously I'll get that back. We'll recap it. And then I also have 3 or 4 other pending submissions. I want to say it's 4. So super excited about those. When those come back, obviously we'll recap those as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your favorite card from the submission was. And again, some of these like this, right? Like I knew this card was pretty beat. Obviously, you see the creases, you see the damage on it. But this one's for the personal collection. I'm a big fan of Lieutenant Surge, obviously. But to have both of these cards here, especially because I've had these cards for so long, I'm not going to complain about the grade either way. The thing I liked about this is there's almost no scratches on the holo foil, which is usually a lot tougher, especially with vintage Japanese Pokemon cards. That's usually one of the first things to get all kinds of beat up. But yeah, again, keep an eye out on the eBay store. Let me know what you guys think. Still have some more submissions to go through. You guys saw a little bit of a preview for Sunday's stream. Keep an eye out for the time. The time might fluctuate because I do have some other things going on. So it's either going to be right on schedule or we might have to push the stream back a little bit, or I could start it earlier. But that is today's stream. Again, hopefully you all enjoyed it. I appreciate everyone coming through. Good old Nugget and Hilario. Appreciate your guys' support. Again, a little bit of a preview, right? We will be opening up the Gem Pack Volume 2 set. Got a couple boxes of this. The box on this is absolutely nuts. It's bad enough that there's evolutions all over it, and then they're like, hey, just throw every bit of holo foil all over this entire box. But yeah, again, bit of a preview for Sunday. Not only do we have 1, but we have 3 boxes to go through, plus some more mail coming in. So super excited to go through these. But that's going to do it for today's stream. Hope all is well. Hopefully everyone enjoys their weekend. But that's going to do it for me. I'm WakoBako. Take it easy. See you guys on Sunday.